Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, and we are one day late for our weekend wrap up, but we're doing it on a Tuesday night. Beautiful day in the city of Vancouver. And of course, Jason Cameron is joining us to do that. Glad we could do it tonight. I had to postpone it a day because of a concert I went to last night. The band Moist was playing down at the Commodore Ballroom and had some tickets and went down there. They made an announcement partway through the night that they've been doing this for 30 years. And they said, you've been able to give us this lifestyle and not have a job for 30 years. So thank you very much. And we had a blast. Commodore is always a fantastic place to see a show. And thanks for being accommodating and switching it to a Tuesday. How's the last 3-4 days been for you? How was the weekend? How was Monday and coming into Tuesday today?
Weekend was great, by the way. Thank you for asking. It was one of my best friends. It was his birthday.
Sweet.
So we went out for that because he lives out in North Van, and
Mm,
we just did a ton of stuff, like more stuff than I was prepared for. Like
nice.
we just traveled, but everything was within walking distance. So we went to microbreweries, we went
Great.
to Seaside Lounge,
Wow.
we went and bowled, and then we went
Cool.
to a great Italian restaurant after it was all said and done. It was a great night.
Oh,
Really.
brilliant. Wow. That's awesome. Wow. Can't believe all the stuff that you were able to do. Yeah, that's great. All in a day and a night. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, all in the day and the night. And then the last couple of days was just like getting in some rest. And then as soon as the week started, go back to my rehab and getting that done, and going to see my physiotherapist today, and just a lot more like working out and stuff. And
Good.
also too, just getting my new ride in shape and getting it detailed and cleaned out completely now. And I think everything is pretty much set in stone. There's just a couple other things I got to do. That's it though.
Great.
It's ready to
Wow.
go.
How do you like the new ride? Is it treating you pretty good?
It's
Awesome.
awesome. It's
Oh,
it's
great.
great. It's a great
Wow.
car, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm very happy with it. All the stuff that I actually had to do was just all aesthetic stuff.
Great.
Everything else that counts is in great working order. I've checked it. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh,
It's good.
awesome to hear, man. Oh, good. I can't wait to see it. I'm
Yeah,
glad for you. Yeah, after what you went through losing your car, I'm glad it worked out really well.
yeah. Again, got lucky. Got great friends, great family that looked out for me and stuff. So it worked out well in my favor. And as I know, it could not have worked. It could not have gone that way, but I'm super happy that it did go my way and it worked out as well as it did.
That's awesome. Yeah, good. Yeah. My weekend was super busy. After work on Friday, went down to the new Tap and Barrel on Granville Island, the former Bridges. Have you been down there yet for the new
Yep,
place?
yep. Great
Nice.
place.
Yeah, really fantastic. They did an amazing job refurbishing it. Great decks and awesome place. Had a really fun night there. Saturday decided to go and check out the Lions again. Did you hear that they just absolutely stomped again? They're 6-1 on the year, and they won again 46-14. Just
Ooh.
absolutely blasted Edmonton, and it was phenomenal. The quarterback at halftime for the Lions, the guy from Victoria, Canada here, 5 TD passes. He ran for one himself, and he was 29 for 32 for 431 yards at the half.
All right. Okay. So what's the name of this quarterback? Because he sounds like the next coming of Warren Moon. That's what he does.
Yeah. Nathan Rourke is his name. And yeah, man, I honestly think that we're gonna see him in the NFL. He's gonna, he's just lighting the league on fire, and this is his rookie year. He's just kicking butt, and he just looks like so poised. He looks like he can run an offense. I think, look out. I think an NFL team's going to give him a shot after this season. He's throwing for 400. He's set records every week, it seems like, and he's throwing for like over 400 yards game in, game out. The guy's been awesome.
So let me guess. Like I know it's early still in the season, but they're 6-1. They got to be odds-on favorite to like to win the Grey Cup? They have.
They're probably second favorite because Winnipeg Blue Bombers have won the Grey Cup the last 2 seasons. They had a hiatus a little bit because of COVID, but the last 2 seasons they had a Grey Cup. Winnipeg's won, and this year they're 9-0. So they
Okay.
beat BC. There was a head-to-head battle with BC. They beat BC. Not convincing, not like crazy blowout or anything, but it was pretty competitive. But Winnipeg is the class of the league, and I think the Lions are probably second in the league. So
Oh, okay. Well, that's great for us. It gives us something to cheer for because the Lions haven't been great for a while. But this
last
kid,
year, I believe the record was 5-13, and they've had the struggles for the better part of the last this decade for sure, and it's been a while since they've been really super competitive. So and it seems like he's kind of the only big change on the team. So I don't know how he's doing it. It's shocking the heck out of everybody. He's setting records for Canadian as well as just all the things that he's bringing to the table in a rookie year. It's just been phenomenal to watch, and I've been to 3 games. Couldn't have been more entertained, and I think the buzz just has to pick up, and I think there's going to be some really, really big crowds as the season progresses.
yeah, man, because it's very rare for any team to literally catch lightning in a bottle, which
Yeah.
they did with this particular rookie quarterback. And you got to ride that guy. You got to ride the wave as long as you can. And hopefully this wave is going to last for a long time until he jumps in the NFL.
Yeah, he's probably going to get some NFL offers soon. And he said growing up, obviously playing professional football was his goal, and playing in the NFL is where he wanted. He said he didn't get any interest, so he turned to the CFL. And he said, my focus and dedication is with this team that gave me an opportunity, and I want to do my best with these guys. But if NFL offers come, I'll listen. So that's understandable. But as we have them now, go. Anybody that's watching and listening to this podcast, book some. Buy some tickets for their upcoming games. They've got a game near the end of the month against Saskatchewan, and it's going to be great. And I plan to be at a bunch of games, and it had been a few years since I had been. I used to be really dedicated to going, and they really lost interest for me. But this year, I've picked it back up, and I'm so happy I did.
Well, it sounds like I'm going to have to catch a game or two myself because it's hard to really root for a team that is just a perennial loser year in, year out. But I am super happy to hear that they've reversed their fate here, and they're now a winning team.
Yeah,
with the addition of this one dude, which is
awesome. Yeah, super awesome. Yeah, I'm really happy we went. Had a blast as usual. Sunday we went to a place called Good Co. They've just seemed to just emerge on the scene, and I think they have 6 locations now. Went to the place in Steveston, brand new location, great place. They said they have great music, great sports, and games, and all of them have video games that you can play in the bar. Really cool place. They got one down on Granville. Saw that one last night, actually. They've got one in North Van, Kitsilano, Steveston, and maybe one other spot. But yeah, it's I recommend if you get a chance, go check them out. I was super impressed with them, and it's fun. They've got really fun games that you can play while you're having drinks, and I think like 5 or 6 just opened all in one shot, and really neat spot.
Oh, well, I'm definitely gonna have to try it out, test it out for sure, because it sounds fantastic. Sounds great.
Yeah, really cool. And that concert last night was fun. I'm glad we went. Moist, 30 years they've been doing music. Some of the big hits are from back then, but they've released some music recently, and back out there, and it was a blast. Commodore's amazing, and we had so much fun. as I was preparing for the podcast today, I started looking at some breaking news and some things that we could discuss tonight. And the first thing that came up was pretty shocking news. Sam Alvey is just on a massive roll, and I couldn't believe that he got a 6-figure contract offer today. And I was like, wow, this guy is on like a serious roll. He signed the 6-year contract with a funeral home. His UFC career is over. He has to look at some other alternatives. He's 0-8 with 8 finishes in his ending to his UFC career. Set a record for the longest losing streak to finish off a career. Way to go, Sam Alvey! Woo-hoo! You set a record. Can you believe that they gave him that many opportunities? We talked about him like a few months ago that his career was done, and he got another shot, and he walked out of the octagon with a broken jaw this time. He had to get it wired shut today, and his whole entire family, I think he has like 6 kids. They were all there in the crowd watching.
Great.
You know who also said they want to sign him today? Jake Paul.
Yeah. Crazy how that works. Crazy. Man. Well, first off, I just want to say about Sam Alvey. I think he's such a good, probably company guy that they were just like, you know what, you're good, you're straight with us, blah blah blah. We like you. We'll keep trotting you out there. But it's not looking great. And also too, that dude in that fight, Oleg, oh man, jeez,
Yeah.
Oleg Sejuk, I think I got.
He has a tough name, yeah.
It's
a tough name.
Okay, so that dude was just hunting like he was hunting for prey.
Yeah,
and he was absolutely not worried about what was coming back at him.
no.
And he was just throwing huge shots. And that one shot that I'm pretty sure that's the one that broke his jaw. Like, I give Alvey credit for not going out immediately.
Yeah. He kept at it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's tough, and he's he can take a shot, but yeah, it was to me it was a bad look. I think he probably should have been done a little while ago. He was a company man. He would accept short notice fights. He always, came into the octagon smiling. Sam Alvey, he always had a great attitude. But, this is the preeminent MMA organization on the planet. And, to be trotting guys out there when they're on a 6, 7, 8 fight losing streak, it's not a good look. I don't think that the UFC should be allowing that. And he beat BJ Penn's record, and BJ Penn was one of the greatest fighters of his day, but should have hung him up years before he did. And a lot of fighters that are a lot of kids that saw BJ Penn in those later days have a very, very poor view of BJ Penn. Where if he would have hung him up and he would have went out, near the top, he would have been regarded so much higher. And Sam Alvey was great at times in his career, but man, that was tough to watch. I just knew that they were throwing him out to the wolves again. And, this guy was a predator. He just came in there and said, I'm taking this guy's head off, and look out.
Yeah, I know, and he literally did that. He took his head off, and okay. So at the beginning of the fight, you see his family there, and I'm like, in my head, I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Yeah. That's what I thought. That's actually what I thought. I thought about it, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if the kid should be seeing what's gonna happen next. But I'm like, but hey, I could be wrong, and then I was not. So.
No. Yeah, that was tough. The other big breaking news is Kevin Durant is complete. I don't even know. I have all these negative. I want to just call him out and say how much of a complete He is like, he brought in Steve Nash, said,
Brought him in.
hey, I want this guy, my coach. I worked with him in Golden State. Great guy, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest point guards of all time. Bring him in. We'll play for him. And now he goes to the owner and says, hey, if you don't get rid of him and our general manager, Sean Marks, I'm not here. Like, how can Brooklyn have the three biggest assholes of the NBA all together? They got rid of Harden, who was a horrible teammate for many, many, many years. Kyrie Irving, probably the biggest out of the whole league. And then KD now steps up and he's like, no, I'm actually a bigger dick than everybody in the league. And yeah, F you. And it's just like maddening. This guy used to have respect for me and many others. And I've lost so much respect for KD and the way he operates. And can you believe that he would go to the owner and say that? Does he actually think that the owner would make that kind of a move? It's pretty arrogant and pretty brutal.
All right. There's so much to unpack right there. Like, there's just so much. Okay, let's start with the coaches first off. Yeah. Chucky Atkins was the former coach before they got rid of him for KD and Kyrie to get Steve Nash. Chucky Atkins is one heck of a great coach.
Sure.
And he actually has experience. Yeah. He has tenure, which Steve Nash, God bless his soul, does not. And also, too, on top of that, even with Steve Nash being there, how hard is it to try to run that offense knowing that those two are just going to do their own thing anyways? Yeah. And then you have to have some sort of motion with everybody else and then be able to offset it. And it's his first time coaching, by the way. Yeah. And just like try to make an offense geared around those two, but also too trying to be inclusive with everybody else, right? Really, really hard thing to do. Oh. And now you want to get rid of him. Weird. Second, Sean Marks is one of the best GMs in the NBA. Yeah. He's actually that good. Yeah. All he did and Joe Tsai did is say, well, what do you want to do? And then they made it all happen. Yeah. So if anybody's got like finger pointing to do, it's to you. Yes, some of the stuff that Sean Marks has done, like not actually having some wings that can actually defend, that's on him. All right. Yeah. But a lot of that has to fall on KD and Kyrie's shoulders. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Just a ton of that stuff, a ton of it. And I just want to throw in there too. Then you wanted your buddy who's now gone, DeAndre Jordan, to play with you, who is past his expiration date. Sorry to say it. It's very true. And then you got rid of Jared Allen, who became an all-star the next year, and you gave him away for, I think, a bag of peanuts. Yeah. It's not like they didn't notice that. I think Joe Tsai and them are like, well, we rather would have traded Jordan, kept Jared Allen. Yeah. Couldn't do that because that's not what you wanted. All right. Like, what else did you want him to do? Like, until eventually Joe Tsai says, you know what? I'm like the owner. This is my team. Yeah. I'm the billionaire. You are a highly compensated employee. Right. Enough to know. I'm putting my foot down. Because, I'm the boss. We're done.
Yeah. We're done. I hope that's the way they handle this because, I think he's burned his bridge 100% fully there. I would be really, really, really upset with that whole organization if they cater to what he wants and get rid of, those guys and just say, okay, what do you need next, KD? Because everything that he's asked for has blown up in their face. Has not worked out, and it's ridiculous how he's being, and he could have stayed in Golden State, and he might be a 4-time champion, 5-time champion, and considered one of the greatest of all time, and he's starting to get a legacy of somebody that was amazingly uber talented, but a guy that was just unable to be a good teammate and just ran everybody else out of town. And it's shocking how his attitude has gotten worse and worse and worse as his careers went on.
Well, maybe he's taking too many notes from Kyrie. I'm sorry. And hey, I get it. That's your guy, Kevin Durant. That's one of your best friends. I get it. But that dude just kind of does his own thing, marches to his own drum. And I think I heard there was a report, I believe I'm writing this, where they were willing to give him that contract that Irving wanted, but there had to be amendments made in the contract to make ensure that, he would play
Good play.
the
Right.
game
Yeah.
of basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball. All right.
Yeah.
That's all they wanted. They wanted to make sure that he would play some games. You know what Kyrie was like? What are you talking about? Absolutely non-starter. Non-starter.
Yeah.
And you're just like, so you don't want to play?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Basketball, has had guys with ego problems a lot over the years, but this is a guy that's throwing away, the possibility of winning, multiple championships. We talked about Bill Russell in the class and 11 titles, and we're gonna, look at KD years after he's gone, and we're gonna say, yeah, he won 3 titles, but crap, holy cow. Well, no, he's won 2, so two titles, yeah, and what a wasted opportunity he had in his career if he would have, just got along and knew how to, play with teammates properly. It's shocking to me, and his luster has really taken a huge hit for me in the last few years, and I can't believe how far he's sinking. This is nuts.
Yeah. Like the one thing about Russell, what he's always done with his teammates was he sacrificed parts of his game so that the whole was better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
KD could have done that with Golden State, sacrifice, put his ego aside for the betterment of the team because the team was absolutely ridiculous. If KD had stayed, how many more championships could they have had?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but he wanted to be his own man. He wanted to go in his own way. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. But that didn't work out so well for you so far. It really hasn't. So maybe it's like, maybe you should just get traded somewhere and then just see how that works without trying to call your own shot all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe that works out better. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this outburst definitely doesn't make it any easier on Sean Marks and Joe Tsai to get rid of this problem and give him to somebody else because, I think his value diminished a lot today.
Yeah, I think so. And also, too, because let's be honest, it looks like those two are going to be playing for the Nets for a while, at least for the start of this season. It looks like they're going to be on the team. All right, so they're just going to have to get on board and play some games. And Kyrie might actually have to play this year if he wants that big contract. If he wants it, might not though.
Yeah,
I guess we'll see.
Pretty brutal, pretty crazy. Yeah. Well, let's get on to some better talk. We had a really good UFC card this past Saturday. It actually was the second card in the history of the UFC where they did not need the judges. No decisions, all finishes. Loved it right from the start. Started writing down, hey, no judges needed for this one. The whole prelim card. Wow, haven't went to a decision yet. And then we got the main card as well. Great to see that the judges weren't needed because I hate judges. I just don't like them, don't need them, don't want them. If they could just get rid of them all and just have finishes from this point forward, I would love this sport even 10 times more than I do.
Yeah, well, it would be great if every UFC was like this one. That would be fantastic. Or if the judges, some judges know what they're doing, and there's a lot of judges that have no idea what they're doing. I wish all of the judges were competent enough to know what they're doing and what they see out there in the octagon, so that you don't ruin some of these guys' careers with your poor decision making or your poor points that you allocate towards the fight. Like the way that you do that, because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing.
No,
right?
Don't know what you're doing. And there's too many of them, way too many of them. It's crazy these days. The only other UFC card that had 100% finishes was Rockhold Bisping 2014. They were 11-for-11 on that card, all finishes. let's see who else was on this card. Al Iaquinta beat Ross Pearson. Robert Whitaker had a nice big victory. We had Sam Alvey was on that card, amazingly enough. He had a victory knockout in the first round. And it took another 8 years before we had another card that was all finishes. And in the main event, Jamal Hill called himself Mr. Apex. He said, I haven't lost in this octagon when I've come in here. He is now 5-0 with 1 no contest. And Sweet Dreams was a great nickname again for him. He was able to come in and show a dominating performance against Thiago Santos, where you look at the two standing next to each other. I am not afraid of Jamal Hill when I'm looking at him. I'm very, very hesitant to throw any punches towards Santos, but Hill proved himself as one of those up-and-coming prospects that really probably will be holding a UFC belt one day, because, man, what a performance.
Yeah, he looked fantastic. How about this? Both men actually really came out and showed their stuff in this fight. Like, it was a great fight.
Yeah.
I actually loved Santos's approach in the fight. I just knew that trying to fight that way, his gas tank had to be at Olympic levels for him to get that accomplished.
Yeah.
I understood why they were doing it, the path of least resistance, but at the same time, the Jamal Hill's takedown defense was stellar.
Amazing.
All night.
Anytime that he hit the canvas, he was just right back up immediately too. Yeah, it was. Yeah, his defense was great, but to be able to get back up with that guy who's a lot bigger, and to just be able to know, immediate backup, so you're not taking abuse on the ground. It was very key to that win.
Yeah, very key. And once it got to like the third round, and I believe Santos won that with his grappling, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, does he have enough of a gas tank for 2 more rounds of doing that?
Right.
I wasn't confident anymore. So I'm like, they were already slowing down both of them by the end of round 2. All right. Yeah, and now you're asking yourself, I got 3 more rounds of heavy wrestling centric fighting.
Yeah.
3 rounds.
Yeah.
Like, the idea would work because he was beginning, as the rounds were going on, it was getting harder and harder for Hill to stand up, but he was getting up, but it was taking him longer and longer. Right? But at the same time, it's like, dude, I don't know if you can keep that up. And he could not. No. He could not. It was almost like, who is going to outlast the other guy? That's what this fight felt like to me, especially in the cardio sense. Sure. Jamal Hill's was better.
Yeah. And it was kind of surprising in a certain sense, because Santos has had a lot of 5-round fights and Hill has not. So, you wondered if Hill could withstand it. But Santos's cornermen were yelling at him, "Hey, man, what are you doing? This is not a bar fight. I do not want a bar fight." And he was just swinging so hard. The punches he was throwing, if they connected, they were gonna knock out anybody on the planet. But they were looping punches that Hill was able to easily get out of the way of. They weren't straight shots, and he got tired. If he wouldn't have put so much energy into trying to have a bar fight, he had a shot at this. If he would have done some takedowns early, got some ground and pound, I think he would have had a better outcome. But yeah, he got tired. Hill took advantage, and Hill showed that he's better at this point. And look out, the rest of this division. He's gonna move up. I think top 5 guy is next for him. Look out.
Yeah, indefinitely. And also too, another thing about Jamal Hill was he let the technique do the work. Yeah. He wasn't always throwing with power, not like Santos, right? Yeah. And you knew between these two guys, one power shot between one of these two, and it's lights out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Santos, Hill got to him first.
Yeah.
And
So,
he also too, he got to him early. He got shook a couple times. I
sure.
don't remember in that fight where Santos actually shook Hill.
No,
I don't
no,
believe that
I don't
happened.
think at all. No, didn't get him in any trouble at all. And yeah, he'll look phenomenal. And yeah, to go in number 13, number 6, and I think they'll be doing a flip flop, and I'm looking forward to seeing Hill fight. He seems like that style bender type of body type.
Yeah.
He just has that lankiness. He knows how to throw those punches to disconnect. He doesn't have to throw with absolute massive power every time. He has that great movement, that lankiness. They always talk about the reach being 78 inches, blah blah blah, but they don't talk about the when a kick is launched, his legs are super long. He was able to keep him out on distance, and when he throws those shots, they are actually powerful at the very end of those punches. And yeah, it was a great performance. He was the favorite, and he should have been, because he's definitely the better fighter. I think we're seeing, Santos moving down and Hill going up, and yeah, I think one day we're gonna see him fighting for that belt.
Yeah, as we should, because like he's definitely an up and comer, and he's proven himself against a real vet at the
Yeah,
top of his division. So I'm looking forward to who he gets next, who the UFC gives him next.
yeah, me too. Yeah. Co-main event was really incredibly fun too. Vicente Luque, one of the toughest guys on the planet, and faced Jeff Neal, who Jeff Neal looked amazing. I can't believe how much trouble he put Luque in with his shots. Another guy that had those straight punches that were finding the hole between his guard, and Luque's legs were wobbling many, many times. And Neal just had that patience. He didn't try to go in and swing like crazy and try to bring him out of it. But yeah, this was a disparity too. Neal just seemed like the better fighter, patient, and was able to get the big knockout victory.
Yeah, and he took time off in between his last fight and this fight, and to reassess what needs to be worked on. And it was clear that all that work he put in definitely showed against one of the best fighters in his division, in Vicente Luque.
Yeah,
Because that first round, you almost had him out of there
yeah,
more than a couple times.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
more than a couple
So
times.
much trouble.
That dude is as durable as it gets, and
Oh
he
yeah,
kept continually hurting him. To Luque's credit, though, man came back in the second.
yeah,
Started putting together his combos, started feeling himself. I believe when Neal went back to his corner, though, after the second, it's like, yeah, that was fun. What are you doing? Get on it. It's like he kind of took the round off.
yeah.
So he went back and did the same thing he did in the first. Started hurting him again and actually took him out. And I want to say this, I believe that was the first time Luque has ever been stopped.
Nice. Yeah.
Ever
Yeah.
been stopped. First
I
time.
think you're right. Yeah. Yeah. Even Neal said in his post-fight interview, for some reason, I always take the second round off. And it was shocking because that first round, he was so dominant. You didn't think Luque had a shot. Luque won that second round and had him, Neal in a bit of trouble there. But once Neal said, okay, whoops, I should have taken that round off. Here I go. And man, he just went at him, and holy cow, that was stylistically incredible. I was super impressed with him. He called out Gilbert Burns for his next fight, and man, I hope they put that together. These two would be a phenomenal matchup.
Yeah, that would be a phenomenal matchup. And I just wanted to go briefly back. It was the left hand that kept hurting Luque in that fight over and over again. He really didn't actually have an answer for his left hand. He did not have an answer for that whatsoever. Going forward, though, they got to make that fight happen, because that would be a barn burner. If they make Neal and Burns, they make that a fight, that's must see television. Totally, absolutely must see television.
Yeah, because Burns, his fight against Chimaev, I thought he fared really well. Had Chimaev in a lot of trouble, way more trouble than anybody by far had ever had Chimaev. Even though he lost, I think Burns is still super tough and durable and amazing fighter. And I would love it if they put them together. A lot of times the UFC is bad with only matching guys up that came off a win each other or both had a loss. So this would be unusual for matchmaking, but he called them out. So make it happen. Make it happen. It'll be great.
Yep. Yeah, I think they should definitely make that fight happen. It just makes a lot of sense to me, and that's a fight that, as a UFC fan, I definitely want to see that fight. I want to see that fight now.
Yeah,
Immediately.
yeah. I loved it. Going back to the main event, when Jamal Hill called himself Mr. Apex, I got some stats here. He's 5-0 with 1 no contest in the UFC. Daniel Rodriguez has 6 wins and 1 loss at the Apex. Sean Strickland is 5-0. Alexander Romanov 5-0, and Adrian Yanez also 5-0 in the Apex. Can you believe that was UFC Apex Vegas 58? They've had 58 matches in Vegas since the COVID hit. That's incredible.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot more than I thought they'd had. To be honest with you, I didn't think they'd actually had that many events there.
That shocked me. Yeah, it blew my mind. One of the cool things about Saturday night was it was the finish of The Ultimate Fighter. And The Ultimate Fighter has had a few hiatuses in the last few years, but this was TUF 30, The Ultimate Fighter 30. They started showing highlights of some of the champions, some of the great fights over the years, and it was really, really neat to see the fight that changed the sport. Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin. Awesome to reminisce and start seeing a lot of the people that have come from that. We see the Dana White Contender Series now being the breeding ground, but Ultimate Fighter was how you got into a UFC contract. You went into a house, spent a lot of time with these guys, had these incredible fights, and 11 champions in the UFC came out of the Ultimate Fighter, and now there have been 62 people that got contracts from the Ultimate Fighter. It was awesome. I love reminiscing and seeing a lot of the footage. Yeah, what about you when you saw a lot of that stuff on Saturday night?
Yeah, it was great. It was like a trip down memory lane, and then you realize just how many people have come through the Ultimate Fighter show, because it was the OG. That was the OG show, right?
Yeah,
like that was the one that started off everything.
yeah.
And so it was kind of, and it was nice to see that they brought it back. They brought it back, and they brought it back with some thunder and lightning, because like these 4 competitors in their fights, great fights, especially this one, Usman and Pagawa.
Yeah.
Like that I probably messed up Pagawa's name. Pagawa. Anyway, he actually had speed for a big man.
Yeah.
He moved, like his movement, and it's like his in and out movement. I was very impressed by that. But at the same time, the younger Usman, who was a bigger version of the elder Usman,
Yeah.
that guy was a mountain of a man. He is massive.
Massive. Absolutely massive. Yeah, holy cow. Yeah, it's crazy when your little brother is way, way, way bigger than you. Yeah. I wonder how much Kamara beat him up as they grew up, and then he said, all right, the beating's gonna stop pretty damn soon, buddy. I'm a lot bigger than you now, so this is it. But he even Kamara came into the cage after that victory and said, I think this is the first time 2 brothers have won the Ultimate Fighter and both got the contracts that way.
Yeah.
And Kamara is considered by many the pound for pound best fighter on the planet as we speak. And it's cool to see his brother coming in, and man, you are right. He is one physical specimen, one mountain of a man. Look out if he connects some of those shots. almost everybody's going out if he lands a bomb that he can throw.
Yes, and then when he landed that in the second round, and it wasn't like that wasn't a punch that he was landing with all his power. That was a counter left hook.
Yeah.
Bing, gone, and the man was flatlined. As soon as his fist hit his chin, he was out.
Yeah.
Out. And then he hit him again. I don't think he needs to do that, but he did it anyway. Like
Yeah.
I just felt bad for him. I'm like, oh man, look at him. He's unconscious and getting beat up. Unconscious.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times, as we said, the referee is just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and usually by the time he can get over there and
Yeah.
dive across, the guy takes a couple of very unnecessary shots. But yeah, I wondered if Pagua was going to get up for a while. Those were some monster shots. But yeah, that, like you said, it wasn't a big load up. It wasn't a whole. It was just a bing, and hit him right place, and he was out. I thought Pago was actually winning the fight at the time.
Yeah,
and,
me too.
Yeah, but he couldn't take that shot, and that was it.
Yeah, and just looking at the physicality of both men when they were in the octagon, I'm like, that dude hits you once. Like he kind of reminded me of like Derek Lewis, the Black Beast.
Sure.
That's what he like a man built like that. It's like that dude hits you once. That's not gonna go well for you.
No.
That's not gonna go well for you.
Yeah. Hopefully, I was amazed at the training partners that both guys had. Pago trains with Blades and Overeem in their, in his gym, and Usman gets to train with Kamara. So going in, I thought, man, this is going to be a hell of a fight. These guys get to train with some of the greatest fighters on the planet, and to see another Usman in there, this is going to be exciting. I can't wait to see him fight soon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But even post fight, I just gotta say this: that dude is pretty terrifying and intimidating. Like as he was talking, like the focus and the intensity that he still had, it's just like, hey, dude, I'm just asking no questions. Don't try to fight me now. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as the referee jumped in, Mark Smith called the fight off. He looked scary as he was running around. Oh my God, he was a scary beast. Yeah, look out, man. This guy is no joke, that's for sure. Holy cow.
No joke whatsoever.
Yeah. I'm gonna list off some of the champions that came from the Ultimate Fighter. I was blown away when I saw this list. I said 62 people. I'm not gonna call all 62, but I'm gonna call some of the guys that ended up becoming champions that came from the Ultimate Fighter. Michael Bisping, one of the greatest fighters of all time, ended up getting the welterweight belt. Rashad Evans was the guy that took it off of him. Tony Ferguson, Juliana Pena, Carlo Esparza, Rose Namajunas, Matt Serra, probably the biggest upset of all time way back then over GSP. Robert Whitaker, TJ Dillashaw actually didn't win. He was beat by John Dodson in the final, but Dillashaw ended up getting a contract anyway, and ended up getting beating Renan Barão, which was a big, massive shock. But it was amazing to go down the list. We got Yair Rodriguez that came from there, Diego Sanchez, John Dodson, Kelvin Gastelum, on and on. Corey Anderson came from there. I was blown away by just how many guys. I just kept going on and saying, oh yeah, I forgot he came from there, because there was just a period of time where Ultimate Fighter, we weren't paying attention to it as much as we did in the early days, and these guys just kept coming through that, and a lot of them have had some really amazing careers.
Yeah, like Ultimate Fighter was able to open doors for these guys, and a lot of them, they took advantage of that, obviously, clearly, became champions, or just had great careers, or continue to have great careers in the UFC.
Yeah, I'm gonna post some of this on the website so you can take a look if you're interested. A couple Canadians, Elias Theodorou and Chad Laprice. Both came and both were champions there. Yeah, just on and on and on. Just so many. But yeah, 62 fighters have gotten contracts out of the Ultimate Fighter, 30 reiterations, or I guess 31. But this was, it was tough 30. They had one that they called the Ultimate Fighter Smashes. I don't know what that meant or why. I don't know what even number that ended up being, but 31 of them. And it was great to see that heavyweight battle. Also, there was a women's flyweight fight that came out of that. Tell me what you thought about that battle between those girls.
Well, I thought Miller, considering like the body type of both ladies that were in the octagon, I thought Walker would have the strength advantage in the clinch.
Yeah.
Nope. Miller did.
Yeah.
Every time.
Surprising.
Every time he clinched up, Walker was the one that went down and ended up on her back.
Yeah.
Every single time. And on top of that, she didn't have the ability to create scrambles and get back to her feet. Once she was down on the ground, Miller kept her down there and beat her up.
Yeah.
And she just had to rinse and repeat that for 3 rounds until finally the 3rd round, she got the stoppage. Ground and pound, and she just kept ground and pounding until the ref said, "I'm going to save your life. Fight's over."
Yeah. She came from Juliana Pena's team. So did Usman and Pau Guao. They were both Juliana Pena's team. So she had 3 of the 4 fighters in the finals from her team. But yeah, you're right. I think a lot of people would have been surprised that Miller was the one that was better in the clinch. It would go up against the cage. She would turn it around and get her down and hold her down and do really good. But yeah, you're right. I think a lot of people were surprised by that. I know that Walker wanted to have the fight standing, and she knew that was her advantage, but it didn't look like Miller would be able to be that physical with her and be able to get those takedowns. But her skill is phenomenal, and I look forward to seeing her in this women's flyweight division.
Yeah, I look forward to her too. And plus, on top of that, she's super young. Like she's just like she's really just like kind of like starting her life
Right.
and her career in the UFC. I hope to see her for a very long time and just see where her skill set gets to as she continues to evolve.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be great. Very great. What'd you think of the heavyweight battle between Augusta Sakai and Sergey Spivak? Sakai's a tough guy, but Spivak was best we've ever seen him by far. And man, yeah, light on his feet. Really incredible performance and got the big TKO win.
Yeah. He really did and made it kind of look easy. Unfortunately for Sakai, that dude needs to work on his takedown defense. But Spivak had some actually really tricky like inside trips and stuff that I don't believe Sakai has probably seen too much of, even when he's rolling with his own people at his gym. Sure. Like he was Spivak was very slick with those trips. Very slick. I was very impressed with that, how we got him down to the mat. And then once he got Sakai down there, well, Sakai wasn't getting back up. That was it. And once he got down there, that was he entered Spivak's his territory, his realm, and Spivak dominated him while he was down there.
Yeah, he set a personal best with takedowns and just crushed him, just totally dominated him. He's won 5 of the last 6, and he's he's on a big rise, and look out. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Young guy and looking sharp. So heavyweight division's on notice. The fight that kicked off the main card was T-Rex Terrence McKinney over Eric Gonzalez. And Ghost Pepper, you're like, oh, I'm a little nervous about that, but T-Rex, no, man, it was, I'm going in, I'm taking this guy out, and holy cow, I was blown away by his performance that night.
I love McKinney's aggressiveness and his no-nonsense approach to it, the way he fights, which is, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to take you out as quickly as I can. Done. That is literally his approach for every fight. But
Yeah.
every fight, I believe he gets better at doing it.
Yeah.
He gets better at, like, literally as he's fighting, breaking down his opponent as he's doing it. And even with his body type, the man has an extreme amount of power
Yeah.
with whatever limb he's hitting you with.
Sure. Yeah.
And which is, I find that, like, just utterly terrifying and amazing at the same time. Like, how can you have power that never goes away in either your right, your left leg, your right leg? It doesn't matter. If he hits you with any of his limbs, you're gonna get hurt very, very badly. And he showed that. And then he showed his submission skills too. Gets the rear naked choke win. I was super impressed.
It was amazing. Yeah. He's another one of those guys where you think body type, incredible. He's a small version of Jamal Hill, and but the power's there. I think so many of these guys learned from Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor just knew, how to get those shots, where to land them, how to land them. The power's at the end of the shot, and like you say, but he's got that power in all four limbs, and it was just flawless performance. And I loved his call out, Paddy the Batty Pimblett. That's cool. There have been a bunch of guys trying to call him out now, but Paddy's on that rise that we saw Conor on, but a lot of guys want to dethrone him. And I love the call out. I hope it happens. It'll be fun. Those two together would be a very entertaining matchup.
Yeah, that would be a very entertaining matchup. I kind of wonder though with the matchmakers, kind of how they kind of pick and chose for Conor.
Yeah,
I had to look at that and be like, maybe not yet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Paddy's quite ready for it, but yeah, maybe in a couple fights. So we'll see. Yeah. Conor, they threw Conor into the wolves early on, but I think they're gonna take the time with Paddy because Paddy hasn't had flawless performances. That's for sure. He's got rocked. He's been in trouble, but I just feel like he's that type of personality. He's that type of guy that would just rise to the heights that Conor was able to rise to.
Yeah, I think so. I think he actually can develop the talent as well, just as long as he's brought along the right way. Now, because he's no Kazmat Chimaev, because literally nobody has been until he arrived, right? So he's not that guy. That's why that guy is like, no, give me the wool, give me your word. And then he got this worst, and it's like, oh, he can still swim.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive, right? So
true. Yeah, he's not Khamzat Chimaev, no chance. But yeah, we're gonna see Paddy. I think go for years there. They'll ease him into fights. They'll put him up against guys that he should beat, and for a little while longer, and then hopefully his skill level will catch up to that rise.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I think they're gonna do, and I think they're gonna be smart about it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay, we already talked about the featured prelim. Alvi, moving on to another career. Let's talk about Brian Battle's big KO win. Battle was the Tough 29 winner, and it was nice to see him included with a lot of these tough alums. That was pretty great. And man, another guy that has some power in his shots, and got a huge KO win.
Yeah, no tell on his kicks. That's what I noticed.
No.
And his striking was on point. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And on top of that, again, this is another guy who goes, don't have a lot of time. I'm hungry. I want to go get dinner. So I'm gonna give you 45 seconds. 45 seconds. That's about it. That's all he needed. With that head kick knockout, and that was a walk away too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I actually I watched it a few more times, and I actually kind of felt like that kick was a little slow, but for some reason Sato was just like not even putting his hands up. It just was like, oh, boom, oh, I'm taking this in the face and I'm going down. That was weird because it wasn't as fast as I've seen most guys kick. But for some reason Sato did not see it coming, did not anticipate it, and he went to sleep. Holy crap. It was one of those highlight reel KO head kicks.
Yeah, no, that was a baseball bat upside his head it was in the form of a leg,
Yeah.
and he went down hard.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it was amazing. He's on a 7-fight win streak and looking great. Yeah, it was that was one of those kicks that we're gonna see for years to come. And every time he steps in the cage, we're gonna see that over and over and over again because it was incredible. He dropped down from 185, and I think this could be very, very lethal for a lot of guys. He's got length, he's big, and he's got tons of power in his hands and his feet. And yeah, it's probably a very good move.
Oh, I think it was an excellent move, and it looks like he didn't actually have problems getting down to that weight.
Oh,
All he's got to do is just keep his diet right. I think this is definitely a division where he should be. That's where he should stay.
yeah. He had two call outs. He called out Ian Gary and Brian Barberina. He said, Brian, you spell your name shitty. And it turned out that wasn't true. He just decided to throw that out there as a call out. But
Yeah.
Ian Gary, I love that call out. That would be phenomenal.
They should make that fight.
Yeah.
Both guys are on the up. I thought that was a very savvy move on Battle's part to call out Ian Gary first. I'm like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That should be a fight that they should make.
Totally. And he said he knocked out, I think he said Barberina knocked out one of his heroes, and I failed to look up who that hero was. Maybe I can look it up as we're discussing. But the other thing was that was the 9th fastest head kick finish in UFC history at 44 seconds. Man, I really want to see those top 8. Jesus. For 44 seconds to be the 9th fastest, that's pretty crazy list.
Yeah, it's a nuts list, because it's like, well, I thought I did pretty good. It's like, no, you're only 9th, bud. They don't give ribbons for 9th, so sorry.
Yeah, you got a participation ribbon for 9th. You don't quite get on the podium for that, but yeah, I was shocked that was the 9th fastest. Oh, I think he's talking about Robbie Lawler.
Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, Robbie Lawler, Barberina's last knockout, which just happened recently in July. So yeah, I think that was the reason for that call out. But Corey McKenna, the youngest female on the UFC roster, and male or female, the shortest reach. And boom, it doesn't matter. She is young and short and has little small arms and legs, but didn't matter. She gets a great victory here over amazing opponent in Miranda Granger. Yeah, it's amazing to see these young girls come in and have a lot of disadvantages, but she didn't care. She was able to get in there and get a really big win.
Like Granger, her thing was she needed to create distance so she could throw her strikes, because once she got down to the ground, McKenna got her down to the mat, she was lost.
Yeah.
Clearly, she was super lost, because when in the second where McKenna locked in the Von Flue choke, because Granger wouldn't let go of the headlock.
Yeah.
Well, that's just inexperience. Yeah. That's inexperience. That's like literally inexperience. You assisted her. You choked yourself out, pretty much. Yeah. You choked yourself out. Yeah. And so that goes with inexperience, and hopefully she'll learn from that. But that was a great win by McKenna. And knowing where her strengths lie, how she got in there to take her down, I thought it was a great win on her part.
And really unexpected, because it's the first woman to ever win with a Von Flue choke. And, for her to, say she's done it in practice, but never did it in a real fight, never even attempted it. For her to secure that at such a young age, incredible and very impressive. And I think she was pretty excited and happy. I want to call her like Killer, not Poppins. Like, I hate that nickname, Mary Poppins or something. But this is a kid that's a killer, and it must be exciting for that team, Alpha Male, to see such a young girl have so much skill already and be able to come in. And they're mentoring her. I saw Uriah Hall in her corner, and some of the other guys that he has on board. And yeah, you know, I think we're witnessing a girl that's going to hold a belt one day.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see what happens next in her career, and also too just how far she can go. You know, like because like since she has those short limbs, it's almost like I always kind of picture a person with shorter limbs like always doing that peekaboo Mike Tyson thing where they just kind of dodge, weave it out, and then just throw huge bombs. You know,
Yeah, for
like
sure, yeah.
yeah. But for her, it would be like bobbing in and then just rushing them so she can take them down, right? Like it would just be a different approach, but kind of the same with a tweak to it, right? Since it's
Yeah.
MMA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, the women's fight that happened right before that, we got to ask, was it a tap or no tap? There's no video footage of it.
So video
Um,
footage.
you know, it was underneath her and it was looking pretty serious. Didn't seem like she could probably get out of it.
It was deep.
But then all of a sudden she released it and the referee's looking around like, what happened here? Okay. And Eggers was not admitting to it. She was like,
Yeah.
no, what's going on here? And what do you think? Did she tap?
Well, one of the judges, the ref actually did a smart thing, and he went to the judges because all the judges are positioned in different places around the octagon. The one judge was clear as day, said clearly saw her tap.
Yeah.
He was adamant about
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Adamant.
Yeah.
So if he's saying not she tapped, and also too, I was just reading her body language. She wasn't really fighting it all that much until because I don't think she was sure if the video caught it.
Sure.
Right? And she was
Sure.
probably looking too and saying, oh, they didn't see it. So now I can fight it.
Yeah.
I honestly, I kind of believe that. I kind of believe that she did tap and she was trying to get away with one. I thought Bueno Silva was trying to be a sportsman in that position because she could have easily broke her arm.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was deep. It was deep enough that she had her.
Yeah.
So be careful what you wish for, Miss Egger, because the next person that gets you in there, well, they're just gonna go for it,
Yeah.
tap or not.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you know, when you look at it and you bring that sportsman you know, moniker into it, yeah, to let go of an arm bar, to let go of a submission hold really quickly, you know, when somebody taps, that is a very sportsman move. We have seen others that have just snapped the arm,
Snap the arm.
dislocated the shoulder, dislocated the elbow, whatever it's been, and you know, that is easily done. It sure made Bueno Silva very emotional. She was really upset by it. It was yeah, it's just too bad it finished that way. I think she would have tapped. I don't think she would have got out of that. I think she was in a position where that arm was not going to be able to be released unless Bueno Silva released it herself.
Yeah, like when you look at the video and you look at how deep she had that arm bar, she wasn't getting out of that. As far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
she was not going to get out of that. The only thing that was going to happen was going to get her arm broke.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so with Bueno Silva, and I don't think personally, I don't think Bueno Silva did anything wrong. I think that was just her being a sportsman.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that now that other ladies have seen what Egger does, is like, well, I guess I just go and I just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It could have been a very, very bad move. She just sort of looked like a deer in the headlights, just seemed to be super stunned and you know, just didn't say anything, didn't protest, didn't seem to, you know, say anything. It was just very weird how she handled it. Yeah, hopefully, you know, there's not significant injury in her future, but you know, yeah, it to me, unfortunately, we didn't get to see a video of it, but you know, yeah, you're right. It was good of the ref to go and there. I think the only mistake he made was when he went to a judge. We had his audio on. He said, "What did you see?" This guy said he saw 100% a tap. He shouldn't have asked that, or shouldn't have made that statement. He should have just said, "What did you see? Did you see a tap?
Yeah,
Or did
exactly.
you not see a tap?"
Yeah,
and he did do not talk about what the other guys saw. just what did you see? And if the guy saw it, great. If he didn't, he didn't.
Then
But
yeah.
when he said that guy saw, then the other guy's like, oh, okay, yeah,
Oh, well,
that
then
sounds good to
obviously
me.
that's what happened, right? Like,
Yeah,
like, and you're right about that. He could have dealt with that a little bit better, a lot better. But as soon as I heard that the one judge said, no, I saw it. It was right in front of me. That was done. It's done. It's over.
You're right. Yeah. So great card, amazing card. You know, for all finishes. You know, next time just don't even bring the judges, please. Just leave them at home. We don't need them. We don't want them. I don't want, you know, I'd love to see just cards, finishes. In the UK, when they had all those finishes, there was 13 bonuses handed out. I was a little disappointed to see that the bonuses weren't handed out as much on this one. And I mean, when you got all finishes, how do you decide on that? What you know, what is the criteria? Were you hoping that they all got bonuses? I sure was.
Well, of course I was, because like you just said, it was the second time in the UFC's history that it's happened. So reward them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Dana White is always on TV, on the air saying, I want exciting fights. I want to see finishes. What just happened? All finishes.
Yeah.
Reward them then.
Reward them.
If that's what you always want to see, and then you know what? You'll be sending a message to all your fighters on the roster, which is, oh, he's a man of his word. He backed it up.
Yeah.
Gave them all bonuses. Since it was like the second time it's ever happened. It's probably not going to happen again for another decade.
Yeah. So opening up the purse a little bit. And the bonuses went to Hill and Santos got fight of the night, so they both got 50K each.
That makes sense.
Jeff Neal, Muhammad Usman, and Brian Battle were the ones that got it. But everyone made a finish. I saw it happen in the UK. I think it could have happened here. As you know, as I said, the last time it happened was 2014, and it hasn't happened from 2005 on. So it just doesn't make sense to me that they didn't just give them all a bonus for everyone finished. But I'm not in charge of the money. But hey, you know, next time when we see that, let's do it. Okay.
Well, it's just a good idea. Like I said, like if you want to send a message to your roster, oh, that's a good message. It's like, the second time that's happened, or if it ever happens again, that time, make sure you do that.
Do it. Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah. Let's look ahead to next weekend's card. We've got a card from the great city of San Diego, one of my favorite cities in the US. Beautiful spot. We've got the prelims going early. The main card starts at 4 p.m. Pacific, so make sure you can check it out. A great battle in the bantamweight division against with former champion Dominic the Dominator Cruz against Marlon Chito Vera. I've seen both these guys be interviewed the last little bit for this, and for some reason Chito is very angry and throwing a lot of venom Cruz's way, and Cruz is just, I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know why he's mad at me. I got no problem with him. But Cheeto seems to need a lot of animosity and venom against him. But Dominic Cruz is one of the greatest fighters of all time. Has unfortunately had some injury history in his career that has made him miss big chunks of time. But I think, he might be getting a little long in the tooth, possibly. Is Chito Vera the new blood that's going to take over, and sort of put Cruz down the list a little bit, or are we going to see Cruz at some of his dominating best, some of the greatest movement we've ever seen in the UFC?
And that's what I think this fight will come down to, is his movement. It will come down to, can Vera limit his movement, and can Cruz just show that his movement is still there and is still in dominating fashion as it always has been. All right.
Yeah.
That's what this fight will be all about.
Yeah.
And if Vera can limit that, if he can mitigate that with calf kicks, leg kicks, because I'm pretty sure he's literally going to be attacking Cruz's legs the entire fight. Cruz
Sure.
has to know that.
Yeah.
He's got to know that's probably one thing that he's definitely going to do, so he can limit that movement, that crazy movement of his. And I think, with that being said, I think Cruz is smart enough to be setting traps, feints, and
Yes.
traps to try to
Yes.
trap it the entire
Yeah.
time. It's going to be a high IQ kind of fight. I am super looking forward to it. And after this fight, we'll see where both men lie. Is
Yeah.
Vera going to be able to get in that upper echelon of that division finally? And is Cruz going to be taking a step down, or is Cruz still Dominic Cruz, dominator of old, and Vera's still not there yet? We're gonna
Yeah.
find. We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out. Yeah, I love Dominic Cruz in his current role as one of the analysts. One of the guys cage side, but I've been very highly entertained with his fights over his career, and I have been sad for him that he's missed so much of his career due to injuries. But when he has that movement on point, exciting, amazing. One of those mixed martial artists that you just really, really, really can't wait to see, because he's just incredible at his craft. But Cheeto's going to attack those legs, and if Cruz has that movement and keeps away from it, I think he's got a really good shot. But you never know what's going to happen, so can't wait for it.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I'm very much looking forward to this fight. Yeah, I can't. I'm honestly, I don't know who's going to win. I really don't. I think it's that close.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Main card, a lot of not big names, but I want to focus on the prelims. Don't forget the prelims. We've got our local girl from here, Lupita Godinez, fighting Angela Hill. That'll be great to watch. The prelims start about 1:30 Pacific time here. That featured prelim between Bruno Silva and Gerald Mearshart will be awesome. Both guys are tough as nails, and for a middleweight division, it's gonna be a battle.
Yeah, that's going to be a battle, and that's a great way to cap off the prelim card for sure. I'm looking forward to that fight.
It's gonna be great. Super excited. Let's have another 10-12 finishes with this one, and let's spend some of Uncle Dana's money and get it out there.
Man, you got to spend his money. You got to do it. You got to try to get as much of his money as you possibly can. Put on some great performances, get some finishes. I don't know if they're going to be able to equal what we just saw, but at least hopefully we get half. I'd like to see.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Okay, let's finish it off with some NFL talk. There was some very sad news that happened this morning. Marshawn Lynch was arrested today in Las Vegas. DUI and 3 other charges will be thrown on top of him for what happened today and his interaction with the police. He was just yesterday named a special correspondent for the Seattle Seahawks. They made a big announcement and brought him on to the management of the team. He is in charge of producing creative content for a variety of projects for the Seahawks. He spent 7 of his 12 NFL seasons in Seattle, won a Super Bowl there. Would have won a second Super Bowl if they would have just handed him the ball. And he would have been back-to-back Super Bowl champ. Went back to Seattle as a sort of stopgap measure this past year. Brought him in for a couple of games, but I was really excited and happy. And hey, he's back in Seattle, got a job with the organization. And then the next day he celebrates by getting arrested. Oh man. Geez. Why do these guys do this kind of stuff? What, like, oh man, you just got this great job and you can't get somebody to drive you to wherever you're going? Like, There's Ubers, there's
Taxi,
Lyfts, there's
Uber, Lyft,
taxis, there's
limo,
limos, there's
limo.
friends, there's like, why do we have to see this happen so often?
Yeah, it's poor decision making, and probably obviously be influenced by alcohol.
Yeah.
Very very poor decision making. But at the same time, you know what it's all about. You're a grown man. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you make these choices. Unfortunately, that was a bad decision. That was a very bad choice.
Yeah.
He's going to be paying for it. I don't know if he's going to be retaining his job after the season.
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder.
Might be gone.
Yeah,
So.
that deal might fall through the cracks, and they might have said, I think you're mistaken. I don't think we had a press conference about that. I think you were probably drinking that day, because no, we we didn't. No, none of us remember ever giving you that job offer.
Yeah, no, that's I don't think that happened. That happened in an alternate reality, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck.
Turn to some good news about the NFL. There was 8 football players and coaches enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this past weekend. Really recommend watching the speeches. It's always just such a pleasure to get an opportunity to see a lifelong dream reached. There are only 362 men in the history of pro football to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It was moving, especially the speech from Bryant Young, defensive lineman for the 49ers. Dial that up. I'll try to put a link on the website if you want. He lost his son to a disease a few years ago, and he was really choked up, dedicated to his son. He said his son's favorite number was always 22, and he's being enshrined in the year 2022. And there was not a dry eye in the place after he made this very moving speech.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. It's tough for any parent to lose their child for them. You know what I mean? So, he had a lifelong dream accomplished, but I'm sure he would have appreciated if his son was with him to see it as well.
Yeah. Some of the guys that made it in: Richard Seymour. He spent 8 years with the Pats, 4 years with the Raiders. He won 3 Super Bowls. Cliff Branch, unfortunately, was not alive to see his induction. He was a Raider for 14 years, 3-time Super Bowl champion. Tony Baselli, lineman that was the first Jacksonville Jaguar to ever make the Hall of Fame. Leroy Butler, DB for Green Bay. He actually was the guy that created the Lambeau Leap. First guy that ever leaped into the crowd at Lambeau Stadium in Green Bay, and kind of cool. Coach Dick Vermeil, he won a couple of Super Bowls with the Rams and the Eagles, and it was great. I recommend dialing it up and watching some of the speeches. Really moving for all of them.
Oh yeah, and I do want to add on to like the fact that Coach Dick Vermeil got in. I love that dude. That dude is as real as it gets. Yeah. He's just so honest and open with his emotions and stuff. Like he's even said in other interviews, like, I'm a crier, and I'm good with it. I cry.
Yeah.
I've always appreciated everything that he brought to the table, and then also too believing in his guys, believing in all his guys. There's this great interview of Coach Vermeil telling Dante Hall, "You're my guy. I believe in you." Nice. And then Dante Hall had that amazing season of all those kick returns and punt returns for touchdowns. Awesome. And that only came about because Coach Vermeil sent him overseas to learn how to be a wideout. Wow. So that they can incorporate him into the offense. Cool. That helped him build his confidence, and he rewarded Coach Vermeil with that ridiculous season that he had.
Amazing, hey. Awesome. Yeah, no, he was always so motivating. He just had incredible speeches. He had so much energy on the sideline. He just looked like he was having the time of his life,
Yeah.
and it just rubbed off on his guys. And he had the longest speech by far out of any of the guys. It had to be 20 minutes or so, and he was having a lot of fun with it. It was amazing, and I've always loved him too. I was always an Eagles fan growing up, and to see him with the Eagles for many years, and then go with the Rams and get that Super Bowl win and stuff. Yeah, I love Coach Vermeil. Holy cow. Great to see him finally get it. There's not a lot of coaches in the Pro Football Hall of Fame for some reason. He mentioned a lot of guys that I was really shocked that aren't in there, and it's kind of weird. I don't understand that. I think that's something that they better get on and get a lot of these great old coaches in there.
Oh, of course, yeah, because like we've had a ton of great coaches. It's like, well, I hope they get Belichick in there. Maybe he doesn't make it. I don't know.
Yeah, right. They might actually have to have a different wing for him, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have all the memorabilia and all the trophies and all that. He might have a separate wing.
Yeah. It's kind of earned it. It's kind of earned it.
Yeah. Well, man, this was awesome. Yeah, it's getting more fun all the time. I'm glad we could reschedule it. Sorry about missing it yesterday, but this was a blast. We got into talking about everything, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Man, we're having great weather. I hope you have an awesome week ahead. You lucky guy that you're not working. I'm actually on my Thursday because tomorrow is my last day for about a week. So I'm not sure what we'll do about next week. We'll have to sort of we'll have to figure it out. We might not have a podcast next week. I might be away, but yeah, as I said, awesome as always. Thanks so much for doing this.
Oh, hey, man, thanks for having me. Thanks for bringing me along. And also, too, you have to understand, Darren, we're allowed to have vacations. It's okay.
Right. That's true. Okay, buddy. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. Have a great week ahead, and keep in touch.
Okay, will do.
Okay.
See you
Cheers.
later.
Good night. Bye for now.
Bye.
Okay, that was awesome. That was great. Thanks so much for tuning in. Yeah, we covered a lot of subjects as always, and had a lot of laughs. Yeah, thanks. I want to thank my partners and sponsors. We've got Anchor.fm, easiest place to make a podcast, and phenomenal at posting on multiple podcast platforms for us. So thank you to them. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, industry leader in technology, performance, and value. V350 is a must-have for anybody that plays hockey in your midst. Pampas Possibilities, designers of West Coast beautiful things for your home. Get them to spruce that up, and you will not be disappointed. And Forever Living, the aloe vera company for health and beauty products. Aloe vera is phenomenal for those types of things. And you can purchase all these products on our website at discounted rates. So go over and do that. You'll be happy you did. Yeah, as I said, tomorrow's my last day of work for about a week. We might have a short hiatus, but keep tuning in. Checking out our website, Complete Media Network. Tons of great stuff we're putting up all the time. And yeah, you have a great week. I hope you're taking some holidays yourself this summer. And yeah, including a little bit of complete sports and complete media in your life. So take care of yourself. Have a good week or two ahead. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye for now.